Hi guys, my name is Hannah and I'm so excited because in honor of Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow, I'm going to tell you guys my love story. So I have been with Grant for 7 years and 10 months. We have 2 more months until our 8-year anniversary, and this is going to be our 7th Valentine's Day together so far. So yeah, I just wanted to reminisce a little bit and think about love and relationships and talk about it. So I met Grant at my older sister's birthday party. It was her 19th birthday party, and I was 17 at the time, and it was in April. And her boyfriend at the time, we'll call him Jack. Jack was throwing the party at his house. There was going to be some alcohol there, but it was like a safe environment, and my parents were comfortable with us going over there, drinking a little bit, staying in the house, you know, being safe, and spending the night there. So even though it was my sister's birthday party, it was going to be her friends and her boyfriend's friends. So I decided to bring my best friend at the time, who's Queedy, and she came with me. So Queedy wasn't going to be able to spend the night over there with us because her mom didn't know him at all, and you know, she was always like calling my mom to make sure that she was staying at my house when she would. We were bad kids, okay? So there was a lot of like checking in with parents all the time, but this time my parents were totally cool with me staying there with my sister, and my cousin Kayla was going to be there too. So my sister had never really gotten drunk before, and we all started drinking and having fun, and then of course I had to take my friend Queedy home. And when I got back there, I was kind of like lonely, didn't really have anyone to talk to, but I was drinking and having fun. And once my sister was like able to steal away from everybody, we had time together, and we were able to like drink and laugh and hang out. So when we were together, all her friends and her boyfriend's friends were gathered around us, and we were all hanging out together. And I just remember seeing Grant. He had long brown hair, and he had this green fuzzy hat on, and I thought he was wearing a hat because it was like a party, and it was like silly, you know. They were all kind of silly and funny and just like goofy, and so yeah, I thought he was wearing the hat because it was a party. And I always kind of had a thing for guys with long hair. I have no idea why. It's been a thing my whole life, but yeah, I just kind of like zoned in on him. I actually noticed him as soon as we got there, when Queedy was still there, and he was the cutest guy in the room to me, you know. At the time, you know, when you're 17 and you're in high school and you're just like boy crazy, and every time you walk into a room of new people that's your age, you're always kind of like looking for the cutest one. Now, even if you don't plan on doing anything about it, you still like point him out, you know. You get it in your head like, yep, he's the cutie. He's the cutie here. So I thought he was cute, and I was kind of like following him around a little bit from room to room, and I found him playing a video game. He was playing Super Smash Brothers Brawl. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I never heard of it at the time. It's kind of funny because it ended up being like kind of like a deal in my life, but I never heard of it at the time. So he was playing that game, and he was really into it, and he was winning, and everyone was like, I don't know why we even play this game with him, because he always wins. So I sat down next to him, and I was like, what are you playing? And he was like, Brawl. And I was like, that looks hard. And he was like, yeah. I know. Oh my gosh, scandalous. So that was the first time that I talked to him. I thought he was cute. I don't know what else to say. Eventually, maybe like an hour later, all of us had congregated in the kitchen again, and we were drinking a little bit, and I think what we were drinking is UV Blue. They always used to drink that. I used to drink it with them too, but like this was my first time meeting all of them, so. Anyways, we were talking about kissing, I think, and relationships, and I don't even really remember like how this particular thing got brought up. But someone mentioned that Grant had never like made out with a girl before, like full on like French kissed a girl before. And so like I liked him, right? I told you guys this. I thought he was super cute. I never thought I'd have an opportunity to kiss him or anything like that. I was kind of outgoing at that age, but at the same time, I really wasn't the one to like make the first move. But I had been drinking, so my inhibitions were, you know? And so I just was like, I'll kiss him. I'll make out with him. And I did. I made out with him, and everyone was screaming and freaking out and videotaping us, and it was this whole deal. And I know what you're thinking, like, wow, Hannah, wow, you sound proud of this, but honestly I am, because I don't know where my life would have taken me if I didn't just do that. And like I said, I had been drinking, so anyways, that night was insane. Like, we ended up getting drunk. All of us were drunk, but we were safe. We were all in the house. No one was doing anything crazy. There was no fighting or screaming or anything. Like, we were just having fun. And we ended up taking a bubble bath that night, which is so weird and like another long story, but we have so many pictures from that night meeting. Some stuff is like lost forever. Like, we had some really awesome videos. Like, there was the video of us making out that first time. But it's lost now, so that sucks. But we do have some evidence left over from that night, and it got towards the end of the night and everything was winding down, and I could tell that he was kind of like getting ready to leave. So I was a little bummed out. You know, my friend was gone, my sister was drunk, and she was with her boyfriend, and I know they were okay with me staying the night. They weren't going to tell me I had to leave or anything, but at the same time, it was her birthday, she was spending the night with her boyfriend, you know what I mean? So like, I kind of was feeling like I just wish I had another plan. But anyways, Grant came up to me and he was like, so everyone's just going to come back to my house, so if you want to come to my house, you can. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So we went back to his house, all of us. We walked, because it was like 2-3 blocks away. It was super close. And then it was funny because I remember thinking, like, because it was like 3:30 in the morning, and he's opening his door and he's bringing like 7 people into the house, and I remember thinking, like, I hope his parents don't like freak the fuck out, because if this was my house, that was my dad, I would be in so much trouble bringing people home. First, I'd be in trouble coming home that late, even opening the door and making all the noise and everything, you know. But anyway, so we went in there and we fell asleep. Everybody went to Grant's bedroom and went to bed. Me and Grant shared his tiny twin-size bed. I slept with my jeans on. I was wearing a Bears jersey, which is so weird. I mean, I like the Bears, but I'm just like, I'm not like a huge fan, but I remember what I was wearing. I remember what he was wearing. Obviously, we have pictures, but I still have these clothes. Not the jeans, but both of our shirts. And I want to do something with them one day, because, yeah. Anyway, so we fell asleep, and in the morning, me and Grant, like, had, like, a moment together, and he asked me if I would be his girlfriend, and I said yes. We didn't know anything about each other. Well, he probably knew my last name because he did know my sister, but we barely knew anything about each other, and we were just like, yeah, let's do it. So Grant and I met on April 2nd, 2010, and he asked me to be his girlfriend on April 3rd, and we've been together since that day. I just love saying that because I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't looking for anything at that time, and I had no idea in my wildest dreams that I would find the person that I really truly would end up wanting to be with forever. And it's just so crazy to me, no matter how many times I think about it, that I had just met him that day, and we have been together since that day. And I can't even really explain to you the ups and downs that we've been through since then. The first couple of years of our relationship were, we were like just crazy, you know, doing a lot of crazy things, and having fun together, and staying out late together, and just being crazy teenagers who didn't have like a lot of boundaries. Like, my parents, of course, I had boundaries, but they were very lenient with me, and I think once I got with Grant, they really started to kind of trust me, because I wasn't running around and doing all the same things anymore. And so I was allowed to spend the night over there, and so we spent like so much time together. And I just remember kind of leaving my old life behind in a way, and I didn't do that on purpose. I used to be involved in a lot of bad things, like things that parents don't want their kids to be doing at all. And it wasn't like I got with Grant and he changed me. It was just that the things that his friends were doing weren't what my friends were doing. They were much more like tame. I mean, they were crazy and goofy, but like they just weren't in a lot of trouble all the time or in any dangerous situations or anything like that. And so he spent so much time with his friends. Like, it's a very committed group of friends, old group of friends. And if he spent so much time with them, that if I wanted to spend time with him, then I had to spend time with all of them. And they just weren't doing those things. And so gradually and slowly I started leaving things behind, and I still kept some of my old habits. Like, I've never been like a good girl, trust me, but I'm just saying that I just became uninterested in those things and more interested in hanging out and laughing and playing video games and talking to the girls and, you know, stuff like that. So that was the first couple years of our relationship. Was just a lot of fun, a lot of friends, parties, a little bit of drinking, and just very getting close and getting to know each other. And then I will say that I ended up moving out together after 2 years. So this was 2012 or 13. I don't really remember which year it was, but we moved out and we moved in together, and that's kind of when our relationship got very serious. And we had a lot of turmoil, a lot of ups and downs during that time. I have bipolar disorder. I'm not blaming anything on being bipolar, but I have had a lot of like messed up thought processes in my life that just kind of seem to sabotage everything good. And I can be very insecure and jealous and controlling, and I was that person for a few years. And I know that Grant's friends, everyone knew this, you know, everyone knew this about me, basically, which sucks, but it is what it is, and I own up to it. And I'm so lucky that Grant stuck it out with me. You know, he had to be, you know, a little bit closed off with me because I was basically a crazy person. And that's the way that he coped with getting through that. And once I started to change and become confident and see my worth, that's when the weight of what kind of person I had been really started to weigh on me. That's when I started to realize that the way that I was in this relationship wasn't going to sustain us. We were going to break up if I didn't change, because I was basically smothering. And I know that there's girls out there that can relate to this. I know I'm not the only person that's gone through this. But yeah, I was smothering him, and it was ruining our relationship. And I ended up losing a bunch of weight and gained a lot of confidence from that. And I just started to see things so clearly. I started to realize that Grant loves me to death. He treasures me, and he would never do anything to hurt me, let alone betray me. And that was something that I had to fucking just realize that was never going to happen. And that really changed everything. That really made me appreciate everything about my relationship so much more, because it was a loyal relationship, and we are very close, and he has never given up on me no matter what. And so I think that as time was going on and I was getting better, we started to come back and become closer than we actually ever really had been. And I didn't realize that, you know, we weren't as close as I thought until we reached like this new level of, I don't know if it's like affection or appreciation for each other, but it changed our relationship completely. I had to look inside myself, and I had to change, because there's a lot of habits that I had that was really hurting us. Like, you know, Grant's not a man of many words. He doesn't spill his emotions, and I am the opposite. I can talk for days. That's why my channel is called Talking Brat, because I can talk for days. And I am a very emotional person, and I used to try and force that out of him, and it was hurting us. And I wanted him to be romantic and spontaneous and do this and that for me. And I would try and tell him, and things would change, but he would go back to who he really is, which is just not that person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Grant shows me so much love and affection every single day. He touches me so much. He's there for me. He listens to me. He's just so there for me all the time. And I just didn't realize that his romance is coming from that, okay? Just because he doesn't pick up flowers or lay a dress out on the bed and tell me be ready by 6, that doesn't mean that he doesn't adore me and treasure me and think that I'm precious to him. That's something I had to realize. Another thing about him not being a man of many words, I had to let that go. It's not about me. He doesn't owe me anything. He doesn't owe me an explanation when he's mad or upset, and that's something I had to accept. I had to say, I either accept you as you are, where the way that you show romance is this way and the way that you deal with your feelings is this way, then I need to move on and I need to find someone else. And so that's a choice that I think everybody needs to make in your relationship, is if there's something about your partner that you just can't get over and it's not something that they can fix or want to fix or has tried to fix and it never works out, you just need to make a choice. Do you accept them as they really are truly, or do you need something else? And so I made that choice, and I let go of so much. I let go of all of my control and just like let him be himself and let me be myself, and we come together now as individuals. And that is what makes us so strong together, is that we have our own selves and that's solidified within us, and we come together and we are a team and everything. We work together, we work through it. We have done so much in our relationship and accomplished so much, and yeah, that's kind of where we are today. We're very close. Like I said, I had to let go of a lot of my issues in order for us to reach this level of closeness. But if I didn't, I have no idea if we would still be together. I don't think that we really would, because if I were him, there's no way I could sustain myself in a relationship from someone who's constantly asking me for something I can't give, or someone who's controlling and jealous all the time. And I'm not saying that Grant's perfect, you know what I mean? But this is our relationship from my perspective, and I admit my faults, and that's what I think is helping our relationship get better and grow now. I would say that we've been in a really good place for a couple of years now. We have ups and downs like every relationship. I think that one of the most true statements I've ever heard is that there are seasons in a marriage. And I know I'm not married, but it stands true in my life and in my relationship, because we've had seasons of great happiness, of great freedom. You know, we've had seasons where we just can never seem to be on the same page. We've had seasons where one of us is struggling and the other is thriving, and vice versa. We've had seasons where we are bored and just kind of, you know, bored. And I think that all of that together, what brings it to an end point, or what brings you to today and then tomorrow, is knowing that it's okay if we're not on the same page. It's okay if we're bored right now, because I have made the choice to stay in this relationship forever, and I will do whatever it takes to adjust, compromise, and communicate to make it work. And yeah, so I don't know what else to say. I don't know if I really got the story of our love out, but I hope I did. Grant and I, like I said, we have our 8-year anniversary coming up. Anyways, I am in love, and I have made a long-term, lifelong commitment to Grant. I told him that I am his forever, and he has told me the same about himself. And so every single day we go into our relationship with the notion and the feeling that this is never going to end. And that's very important. You have to always be in the mindset that this is forever. This is what I want forever in my life, and I will do everything I have to do to make it work. That's it. So yeah, if you need any more tips on a successful relationship, you can maybe ask me. I know a lot more about learning lessons from failures than, you know, just acing it all the time. But I have learned a lot. I'm in love. I'm crazily in love. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. A quick prayer. If you believe in God, I pray to God that He leaves blessings over your love and over your relationship, and He sees you through the hard times. And I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!